While she was holding, all of a sudden, she started shouting, "My hand, my hand!"
Astaghfirullah. Wow.
So the jinn also afflicted her.
Subhanallah.
She started shaking and she fell down. So we had two patients. That scenario still is
Still fresh in your memory.
very, very fresh. We saw someone walking down. Say, man, pass here, pass here. Yeah, it's good, yeah, it's good.
Sorry, mind you, was it at night or you still had daylight?
No, it was night. Let me say around 8 p.m.
Oh, that was pretty much dark.
So he was coming, say, follow here, follow here. Oh, thank you, thank you.
Subhanallah.
So we drove. Immediately we drove in our car, got stuck.
Don't tell me you got stuck.
We got stuck in the middle.
Subhanallah.
So we were angry.
With your patient in the car, with everything.
We got stuck. So we were angry. Why would this boy tell us? We look back, we didn't see anybody.
Allahu Akbar.
We didn't see anybody again.
Wow. This is Knowledge for Edge with Abdurrahim. Today we have our brother to begin with. He's a scientist, he's an imam, he's an entrepreneur, and he do a whole lot more. Inshallah, today we'll be looking at our friend and our brother, the person of Ustaz Muzamil Musa. We'll be talking about his life and a lot of the things that he does, and he has been maintaining a high level of excellence in all his endeavors. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Naam, alhamdulillah. Habibi, welcome. How are you today?
Marhaba, alhamdulillah, shukran jazeera.
Naam, alhamdulillah, rabbil alameen. So you do a whole lot, and I find it very interesting and especially inspiring. I mean, you are a scientist, you are an entrepreneur, you are also a specialist in prophetic medicine. I can continue to go on and on and on. And I think I also like the fact that you are a beekeeper and you are also into alternative and renewable energy sources, because I know actively you are into biogas production and all of that. So let us ask you, how did this all start? Let's look at your background.
Wow. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Sometimes when I'm asked these questions, it's difficult for me to see this way it started and how it started.
Okay.
But however, I would like to say it started when I was in secondary school. I attended a missionary school of Arabic and Islamic Studies.
Alhamdulillah.
I still remember very well SS2. I walked into the library. I was going through the bookshelf looking for a book to read, because it was the practice then that for every term you must finish a book outside your curriculum.
That was a very good standard.
And you submit to the library master and he documents. So I was trying to, this time I wrote books I would read, I was going through. So I stumbled over this book, Ireland the Jinn.
Okay.
It's an Arabic book, Ireland the Jinn, the world of the jinns. It caught my attention. I said, world of the jinns. Well, let me see what's there. So I took the book, went to the library prefect. I said, I want to read this book. He told me something I still remember. He said, nobody has ever read this book and finished the book.
Interesting.
He said he has observed that nobody started and never finished it.
Was it a very voluminous book?
Yeah, it was a big book.
Okay.
But somewhere along the line, it gets scary.
I see.
So some people just dump the book and leave it. So I told him, inshallah, I'm going to read it. So I started reading. I read and read and read. And from that book, from the reference, because I started reading other books. So I read a whole lot of books. SS2, SS3. And after SS3, we saved for a year. There's just 1 year. We call it like a student training program.
Okay.
So we become like student teachers.
Okay.
So during that period, I also kept on reading. Until I left the school, went to write my JAMB.
Okay.
So when I was writing my JAMB, the knowledge from this book influenced me. So I said, I'm going to read medicine. Because while I was reading the book, apart from the fact that I came to learn more about the jinns, I also came to learn a little bit about prophetic Islamic alternative medicine.
I see.
I felt, I think I should read medicine. Okay. So I put in for medicine.
Okay.
But that same year, I also put in for medical lab scientist. School of Medical Lab Science. It was then the University of Benin Teaching Hospital.
I see.
Then I also put in for medical biochemistry.
Okay.
Part-time, University of Benin. So I had three of all these.
Three options.
So after everything, I still remember very well. My result for JAM was withheld.
Oh,
I think it was written NR. That was what was written. I still remember.
Was that just about you, or it was a general challenge?
I knew about myself. I never knew about anybody.
Okay.
But when I went to the JAM office, I discovered that some couple of persons had the same thing. So I asked what's meaning of NR. They said not released. So I should wait. So instead of waiting, I decided to go for. I was in doubt. Where should I go? Medical lab, biomedical.
Okay.
So I spoke with one of my Ustad, Sheikh Ibrahim Toyib. I still remember very well. So he advised me to go for medical lab
Oh,
scientist.
alhamdulillah.
So I went for medical lab scientist or medical lab science.
Nah.
And I specialize in chemical pathology.
Nah.
All this while I was doing my course, I also kept on reading
Other books
outside
the medical lab science.
Something happened when we were in 500 level. Our school was affiliated to AAU,
Okay.
Ambrose Ali University.
Uh-huh.
Somewhere 500 level, NUC came in and truncated the affiliation program.
Subhanallah.
And they said we have to go and complete the program in a university.
Oh.
Because whenever I was passing through the gate, I usually hear this seminar, recorded seminar by one Olumide Emmanuel.
Olumide Emmanuel. I know him very well, Dr. Olumide Emmanuel.
So I bought his CDs.
And that was way back.
Yes.
So it means the guy has actually been out there for a very long time.
That's about 2009, 2010.
Allahu Akbar.
So I bought his CD. I kept on. I then bought his book, SOM, School of Money. So that was my whole concept of entrepreneurship. That's where it came from him. So when I was in school, I began to think of what could I do? How can I get started and all this stuff. And don't forget, I also had a background from Rukia. I've been reading.
Yes.
So I remember in one of his talk, he said, if you want to, how to generate business ideas.
Okay.
That was the topic. He said something like, look for a problem.
And solve it.
Find a solution to the problem. Monetize the solution.
Beautiful.
Money will flow.
Beautiful.
So I began to look for problems. And that's what brought me into agriculture.
Oh, alhamdulillah.
Because I now discovered that during our process of medical lab, that some of the ailments, or almost all the ailments we are passing through, were because of the kind of food we eat. And if you go through, you see that most of the food we eat are inorganic.
That's quite correct.
I did 3 different trainings on biogas.
So there have been a whole lot of capacity building trainings and trainings.
Yes.
Okay, alhamdulillah.
So I went there, I learned how to do biogas. So after my graduation, I was thinking of how to start a business, but my parents wanted me to get a job.
Okay. I mean, that's very typical of our parents. Go to school, graduate, and get a job. And get married, and start up a family.
So I wanted to go into entrepreneurship, whatever, but my parents wanted a job. But inside the job, I now discovered that I could also practice my agricultural whatever.
Even while you are actively working?
Because I asked some questions, I discovered that from the regulations, the only job you could do that there's no penalty is agriculture. So I went into agriculture.
Now, I want you to take us through your very first patient in that line. You know, having gotten all of the trainings and the practicality. Let's look at the first training. Just give us an insight briefly. How was it like?
The first, wow. I can't remember the first, but I will say the first,
or let's say the most memorable, perhaps because of the situation or the activities that surrounded the patient. Can you take us through that briefly?
Yes, I still remember very vividly. When I got there, I walked into the mosque. This is a girl. She's a Muslim, but not a very serious Muslim.
Okay.
Immediately I walked into the mosque. She looked at me and said, "Masmuka anta." I will never forget that day.
Subhanallah.
She said, "Masmuka anta." very eloquent
and precise Arabic.
Arabic. And when she spoke, I was shocked. Who taught Arabic? I wanted to reply. Abdulatif Bukhari said, "Don't reply in Arabic." I said, "Why?" He said, "If you reply in Arabic, he's not speaking Fusha. It was a jinn that spoke through her."
Exactly.
As I said, he said, "Don't speak," because the jinn was speaking Lahja, not Fusha.
Okay.
No, Fusha is the more or less the Quran Arabic, the central Arabic. So when you get to learn Arabic language, you learn the central, the main Quran Arabic, which everybody understands. While Lahja is like dialect.
Okay.
Everybody had their own
more like
dialect.
a tribal.
Thank you.
Okay.
So he said I shouldn't reply because he was speaking Lahja, and if I continue, I'll not be able to continue. But that's it's still in my head. I still remember very well. How could she
have been able
to speak? It was that's anybody who doubts that the jinn possession does not exist. For me, that was a convincing evidence. Someone spoke Arabic who does not even know how to read the Quran. Masmuka anta. Anyhow, we got started doing the ruqya. As we were doing the ruqya, another
now I need to find out, were you scared at this point in time, when that first question came?
I was not scared. I was not scared.
But you were shocked.
I was shocked. How?
Okay.
I was shocked. How? I was about to reply. So this brother Abdulatif who called me.
Alhamdulillah for that guidance.
So he knew that I wanted to reply. So he said, "Don't reply. I will just get lost too. Just speak English. He can speak English." So I replied in English, and the jinn spoke in English. So we got talking. Who are you? What are you? Got all the information we needed. Leave her alone. No, I will not leave her. All this stuff. So
those conversations.
So we began to recite. Now, because she was a lady, we called her sister to help us out, to hold her.
Okay.
While she was holding, all of a sudden, she started shouting, "My hand, my hand!"
Wow. So
the jinn also afflicted her.
Subhanallah.
She started shaking and she fell down. So we had 2 patients. that scenario still very
fresh in your memory.
Very, very fresh. In my memory, because that was the first time. That was the first time I had, but it was not too surprising because I'd already read
about those kind of
instances. But that was the first time we had this practical. I had this practical. Even my other brothers, in fact, all of us went to Afipo, this School of African Islamic Studies. So it was first time, but it was not surprising per se because we already knew that things like this could and can happen. But alhamdulillah,
moving forward, was it successful, the entire ruqya process?
It wasn't successful because all of us were amateurs.
Okay.
So we had to take her to Malam Nuruddin at Aduwawa.
That was a whole lot.
Yes.
And you had to travel. Or were you in the same city?
Benin. Okay. This incident was happening, I'm telling you now, was happening in GRA.
Okay.
And Madam Nuruddin was in Aduawa.
Okay. And the movement happened that same day?
In fact, I didn't go home. I got home around 10 p.m.
Wow, that can be serious.
10 p.m. So I remember another memorable thing happened. While we were going, we were driving. We had to get a vehicle taking us because we're not very experienced.
Okay.
So you're just trying to
do what you could do. Based on what you know.
No. So while we were driving, it was dark. I still remember very well. We came to a pond of water, pool of water. We didn't know what direction to go, whether this direction. We didn't know where
exactly the safe part to take.
So while we were contemplating, we saw someone walking down. Say, pass here. Yeah, it's good.
Sorry, mind you, was it at night or you still had daylight?
No, it was night. Let me say around 8 p.m.
Oh, that was pretty much dark.
So, he was coming. Say, follow here. Oh, thank you.
Subhanallah.
So we drove. Immediately we drove in. Our car got stuck.
Don't tell me you got stuck.
We got stuck in the middle.
Subhanallah.
So we were angry.
With your patient in the car, with everything.
We got stuck. So we were angry. Why would this boy tell us? We look back, we didn't see anybody.
Allahu Akbar.
We didn't see anybody again.
Wow. Now let's talk about your prophetic medicine aspect. Apart from those books you were reading back then in school and perhaps the other exposures you had, did you also have specific trainings in line of the prophetic medicine, just like you did for your agriculture?
So while I kept on reading, I did not really go for any training.
Okay.
Until I graduated. When I finished my secondary school, before I got admission, I started training practically. I met one of the stars in Benin here. I told him I wanted to learn.
Okay.
I learned with him for a while.
Okay.
And because I had already had some theoretical background, it was not really difficult for me to catch up. I left him. I went to another stars, Imam Nuruddin at Aduwawa, the Imam of Aduwawa. I met him. I remember very well when I told him I want to learn Ruqya. He laughed and said, "You're too small." So he did not really teach me much, but he just allowed me to see how the process went through. Then I stopped because I got admission. After my admission, after the schooling, I remember I traveled to Jetu.
Okay.
I stayed in Jetu for a month.
Okay.
So I learned and had an advantage over all his students. The advantage was that I spoke and understood Arabic.
Oh, okay. So that was an edge.
Most of the books were in Arabic, so he would have just tell me, read this and this and do like this. But for the other students, he needed to explain. But for me, there was no need for just give me the book, and so I read and I got acquainted with a whole lot of things. Then after that, I left. I went to
talking about. Sorry to cut you. Talking about practicing. Let's go back to agriculture a little bit. Most of the time, a lot of young people, because I believe as at the time you started getting interest and started reading about agriculture, you were still young, and typically young people do not really want to go into quote and unquote agriculture, because I know that there are lots of government programs and effort to encourage people, especially the young persons, to go into agriculture. So at what point did you make up your mind that agriculture was something you wanted to do? Then what was the driving force behind that decision? Was it something you liked that you could say you had passion in, or it was something you felt could actually fetch you some good amount of money? So what was the motivation for you advancing more into agriculture?
The first motivation was the passion.
Okay. Not really what was involved in terms of money.
Just the passion, because when we were young, my father made us to go to farm with him.
Okay.
So we were already exposed to the basic things about farming. But there was no scientific basis behind anything, just cultural. But I was used to it. But when I started listening to
Olumide,
I now started seeing the business potentials in agriculture. In agriculture, I think he said there's no scarcity of money anywhere. There's money everywhere. Once you can create value, your value will attract money. And value is just about providing something that people need.
True.
And people need food every single day. And they even need good food. So if you could help to provide food and good food, people will be ready to pay for it. So these two things came together and helped me to. I did not just jump into the money aspect. First of all, I tried to train. So I went for different training. I knew to take time. So one of the problems we have today is that most of our youth, they want something that's just very, very fast.
Very fast and quick.
Yes, very fast and quick.
So let's talk about what you are doing now. Like, let's talk about your core agricultural practices, what you are doing currently, and then perhaps how much you have made so far.
Currently, I'm majorly into beekeeping now.
Beekeeping, okay.
A lot of potentials. For example, bee can give you about 5 to 6 byproducts.
Okay, wow.
And the cheapest amongst all is honey.
Okay. Oh, the cheapest among them is honey. But honey is actually not cheap.
So you can imagine the potential in all other aspects.
True.
They feel that there's no money in it. And 2, it is easy. Just set it up. Like, for example, for the past 1 month, I've not been to my apiary. That's a collection of beehive. I've not been there because I've been busy. But I'm not worried.
But everything is on course.
Everything is on course. I don't feed the bees. they feed. I mean, they go and forage for themselves. I don't provide medications, so I'm not bothered. This ailment or that ailment.
Exactly. There's an outbreak of a disease, and then you have to start vaccinating or treating.
I'm not bothered. 3, I'm not bothered about thefts. If anybody goes there, anything you see, you take. So
interesting.
And when you go there, you just harvest, process, and you can sell. As I'm talking to you now, people already wait for me to supply them.
Wow, that's so interesting.
If I had a call yesterday from Abuja, please, I need 40 liters.
Wow.
Somebody from Kaduna said I need 20 liters. So I just told them, please hold on. I've not gone to harvest yet. When I get to harvest, so anytime I'm going to harvest, there's already a market waiting.
Exactly. And that can be so encouraging, because unlike other kinds of businesses where you need to have your goods out there, you do a lot of promotions and a lot of adverts. I mean, you are here, you are still under production, the product is not even ready to be sold, you already have customers lined up.
And you know what? There's no storage problem. There's not like vegetable that gets spoiled.
True.
So money can stay for 100 years.
You don't need to refrigerate or keep under a certain temperature. That is so amazing.
So if you can see why I try to focus.
Exactly. There. It's clearer now.
And beyond that, there's other potentials when you can train people.
Okay.
And when you can make money from
training, being a trainer.
Yeah, being a trainer.
Okay.
Today I was with my carpenter who does construct the beehive for me, because on a monthly basis I try to expand. So I went to there to look at the beehive he was constructing.
You are also a business person, but you are not allowing that to discourage you. You are still actively in the front of the Dawah movement. So take us through some of the works you do for Aleph and then outside of Aleph as well.
It started when I came back from my secondary school of Arabic and Islamic South Africa. We started with Young Muslim Jama'ah. Even our executive director of Aleph, Barrister Omar Musa Yakhilo. We all together in Young Muslim Jama'ah. I am the assistant coordinator of the Aleph Dawah and Rivat Center.
Alhamdulillah.
The coordinator is the person of Brother Abdurrahman Onifade Bello. I am his assistant. I assist him in coordinating activities. Currently, we are having a 2-week intensive program for Rivat. It started yesterday, Monday. That should be 12th. It's going to run for 2 weeks. So we are coordinating all the activities. Apart from coordinating, we're also part of the resource persons training the Rivat. Why we have other invited resource person.
So far in all of this that you do, put together over time, what would you say is something you would like to improve on? I know definitely there are a lot of areas in what you do that you want to improve on. So let's take the ones that is topmost on your list.
Wow. Number 1, beekeeping. I want to improve on beekeeping because there are a lot of potentials that have not been tapped here in Africa. So beekeeping is number 1. In the area of entrepreneurship, beekeeping is number 1. Then in the area of Dawah, we want to see how we could be a Quran memorizing center.
Beautiful.
This very center. Yeah, inshallah ta'ala. And if you can achieve that, I think I would say it's a dream come true.
That's going to be a good one, inshallah.
Inshallah, we are working towards that.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy.
Inshallah.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. This is the much we can take on this session. We want to thank you sincerely for creating time from your very busy schedule, because I know how much communication we have had, back and forth as to how we can make this happen. But Alhamdulillah, this has come to a reality today. We also want to thank our viewers out there who are always watching and supporting us in what we do. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to continue to bless you, bless us, and reward us all abundantly. Ameen. And then make Al-Jannah to Firdaus our final abode. Till I see you on the next one. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. I remain Abdurrahim Idris, and this is Knowledge for Edge. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.